like I said at the beginning of the live, before I started recording, I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and welcome to my mystery stamping hour. I have a cute card that will, it'll show several of the DSPs. So we have a new catalog that's going to launch on May 6th. And so there are some new DSPs in there. And so I have a card that will show 4 different patterns of your DSP. Now, I'm using a package of DSP. It's not one of the new ones that are coming out, but it is still one that I haven't used a lot. So I thought, well, it'd be perfect to do mystery stamping with. So we'll get started with all of this, and let me change to the desktop. Give me just a moment here. Oh, wait a minute, the timer's going. There we go. Forgot to turn that off. So it's all good. So for mystery stamping today, I had sent out the clues. I emailed them, put them on my mystery stamping group under the files, and then I also had them on my business page. And I usually try to do that. I need to do that about 24 to 48 hours in advance, but I didn't get a chance to do it 24 hours in advance this time. So I did send them out last night. So hopefully, if you have a chance, you will see the dimensions below the video, and maybe you could make it afterwards if you didn't get a chance to cut your pieces and bits out. So we'll get started with this. The first thing is, pardon me, a card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I am using gray granite for mine. And so I'm going to scoot this over. There we go. So there's gray granite for mine. And then a basic piece of white or vanilla. And so you can use whatever, works for your card and your DSP. And that is at 3.5 by 5. So that's going to be for our inside. And then I have a piece here that's for my sentiment. It could be shape. It could just be a cut piece. That's up to you. And then let's see, coordinating cardstock. I am using Pretty Peacock for that, and it is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch. And then we have DSP. So the first one, and the paper that I'm using is Everyday Happiness. So it's a DSP that I think was used for, it was meant for like scrapbooking, but you can use it for whatever you want. You can make just other projects, you can make boxes, and you can make cards with it as well. So I have a piece here, and it is in landscape, and it's 1.5 by 4. Mine, it doesn't matter whether it's landscape or not because of the pattern, but if you have a pattern that goes a particular way, you would want it in landscape. And then piece number 2 is in portrait. And once again, mine is not directional, but if yours is, you'd want it in portrait. And that's 2 inches by 4 3/4. And then also the next one is in portrait, and it is 2 by 3 3/4. I chose things that it didn't matter. And then I have the 4th piece that is 2.5 by 2.5. And then I have some embellishment pieces here that I've already stamped and cut out. That way you didn't have to watch. And I also have another piece here in case I need it to do some other flowers. So I will move that out of the way, and I've got some stamps here. And I think the ones that I'm using, let me grab them here. Oops. I'm using the flowers out of the Flowers of Beauty, and it is either retiring on the last chance or it's already been retired. I don't know because I haven't marked retired, but I didn't put whether or not, like how soon it was. And then I'm using this thank you out of the bright borders. So you use whatever you have on hand, and it doesn't have to be current and anything like that when you're doing mystery stamping. That's the fun of mystery stamping. And then you just follow along, and then you end up with a card and an idea and a sketch to make other cards. I try to make them where they, can be used with all kinds of different products. So we'll get started with this. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and score the line on my card base. And I'm going to go ahead and do the inside. That way it can have, in the sentiment, that way it can have time to dry. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to bring this in. And this is wild wheat, and we're using Pretty Peacock, or at least I am. And I have a piece of, there it is, scratch paper. Just in case here. I need to do some stamping off. So I'm going to do a second generation stamping and then a full strength stamping for this card. I'm going to stamp off, stamp down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to take this next one. I'm going to ink it up. And then I'm going to stamp direct right there. And it, as long as it's close to being lined up, that's the main thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take a pair of scissors. Things I stamped off on this piece on the end. This is just like a little technique that you can use. And I'm going to cut this out at the top here real quick. I don't need the bottom too much. I just need a few petals because I'm going to put some leaves behind it. I'm trying to get fairly close on this because even though this is copy paper, just that little bit will leave a line. See? Cover that up right there. Then I'll bring in my Pretty Peacock. Close that, just in case. And I'm going to bring in my leaves. So I didn't want the stems to show. So I'm going to hold that in place. See where I want to put my stems. Stamp. And then I'm going to bring this in. I need to scoot that over just, oh, here, I'll just use this. I'm going to ink this up, stamp that off, and then go right over the top. That. And so that puts the leaves behind the flower. And then now it's time to do the sentiment. Do that on top of that. All right, so let's grab the thank you. Now I'm going to put mine off to the side because I know I have embellishments to add. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'll close my inks. So that is all the stamping that I'm doing. You could add more. You could do less. You could just do a sentiment if you want. You don't have to do the inside. But I am doing the inside today. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to let those dry for a little bit before I mess with them because I don't want to smear the ink. That was a juicy ink pad. So now I'm going to bring in my coordinating cardstock, and you could emboss this if you want, You can stamp it. I think I'll go ahead and stamp it real quick. Back in. My sample, I didn't do anything with it, but you could emboss it with the embossing folder. You can stamp. You can, I think I'm gonna, this is a darker ink, so it's all good. I'm gonna just try to put tone on tone. I'm just gonna go around mainly the outside. Like I said, you don't really have to do this part, but sometimes it just adds a little something extra to your card. I think it would be really pretty dry embossed, but I do try to keep it kind of simple whenever I'm doing mystery stamp. I'm trying to coach people along to get creative. Sometimes we just get stuck and it's like, what do I do next? And, you could be making gorgeous cards and then it's like, some people just hit a brick wall. I know I do. And sometimes I go back through my mystery stamping clues and we'll make a card from that. So let me see. I'm gonna put this here in the middle. Make certain that if yours is directional, you have it go in the right direction. Also trying to get it fairly straight. You don't have to use a ruler, but it seems like I keep getting mine a little cattywampus. My eye is bothering me today. All right, so the next piece we're going to do is the one that's, I believe, 2 inches by, I can't remember now. The 2 inches by 4 3/4. That was on the clue sheet. This is Facebook Live right now, but I will post it on YouTube. Facebook is starting to delete live videos. I did one about a month ago and I got notice that it was getting deleted yesterday, so I don't know what they're doing now, but I'll upload this to YouTube on my channel, and that's Creative Coach Lisa over on YouTube. And the next one that we're going to do is this one is 2 inches by 3/4. Okay, so it seems like a lot of them are 2 inches wide. This one's 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches by 4. That's why we have the 4 by 5 1/4 background. Is that yeah, that's the right side. So this is the side that I put there. This is the opposite side that I'm going to put down this time. I'm going to kind of come right here. Just trying to make things like this try to make it equal around so that I know that I'm getting things fairly straight. So I'll add that there. So I'm doing it just a little bit different from my sample, and just because it doesn't have to be identical. And then I've got a couple more samples where whenever I was working on this and I was following the clues, I didn't follow them very well and I did the wrong size. So I'm going to turn this like this. Then I'm going to try to, with these two, I'm going to try to center on those. So there's equal amounts here. That's what I mean by that. Trying to get it wiggled into place. So there is so far our card front. So now we're going to go ahead and add our pieces to the front and the inside. So I hope you're able to follow along. I try not to go too fast whenever it's mystery stamping, and it's when it's live especially, but if it's on YouTube and that's where you're watching, just give me a shout out and let me know where you're viewing from. Hopefully I can reach all over. And then you can always stop and start it if you're watching the replay. So there's the inside. Now it's time to do the finishing touches on the outside. So we're going to take this and we're going to add it to the front. You can either pop this up on dimensionals or you can glue it down. It's kind of a heavy layer with the my DSP seems, I don't know, it seems to be a little bit thicker. I don't know if it's just, I think it is, or if it really is. So my card's getting, this here piece is getting a little bit heavier than what I normally do, but maybe it's just all the pieces that are on there. So I'm going to glue this down instead of trying to put it on dimensionals, because the dimensionals, if it's too heavy a layer, it sometimes wants to sag, and I don't like that. So that, and so isn't that pretty? And you can see the color. I thought it would be look black on the screen, but I don't think it is. I can see that it's that bluish green color. All right, so I'm going to bring in my glue dots for the back of my flower here, and I'm going to put my leaf kind of up in here somewhere. So I'm going to just add some glue dots to the back, and hopefully that I get some in the right place of what I'm going to need. And then, so I put 3 in the area that I think I might need them. I think I'm just going to do 1 leaf, but I did 2 just in case. And so I think I'm going to just pop it on there. I'm going to flip this over and add dimensionals to the back of this. Whoops. Now, normally, I wouldn't add it all over. I would use glue for part of it. And I'm also going to put dimensionals on the back of this. I don't think, because that's not all that large, that it's going to matter that I'm going to do double dimensionals, other than maybe putting it in the mail. And hopefully it won't matter then. Everything here at my house, things are blooming like crazy, and allergies are raining havoc on me today. My eyes bothering me a lot. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to kind of overlap into this a little bit, and I'm trying to get it as straight as I can. So I'm not going to press it down, and I'm going to pick it up and kind of look. I'm trying to get that word straight. There we go. I'm going to cover up this part of it, but I want that to be my focal image, so with the flowers and all. So that's why I offset that. Now, if you don't have anything to add with your sentiment, you can center it. You can put it a little higher, you can put it lower. That's up to you on how you want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I think on this one right here, I think it'll, I need to add it under there, I will. I'm going to just kind of, I'm trying to cradle that T for the thank you, but have the flower be a big part of the show. So I'm going to tuck a mini section of a glue dot. That's what I'm going to do. Instead of doing a mini, I'm just going to clip a little piece here. This is a little trick that I do. So I have dimensionals behind my thank you. And then I have dimensionals behind my flower. But the flower is off that sentiment just a little bit. And there is a glue dot there. And so I don't want it to stick to the card front. So I'm going to stack them up just past that thank you. And then that way it's all level. It's not tilted. There we go. And then that is our card. Let's see. Oh, there we go. And you can add other things to the front of it. So I have these. These are Starburst sequins, and I really like those. So I'm going to just open this up. Means this has white, and it's, I don't know, I don't think this gold would be. Or, oh, there's a white one in. I don't think that the gold would, well, it might. So I'm going to add a white one there. A bigger one up here. And let's see. I'm going to do the little ones and see if it works. Sometimes whenever you add a color, even though it's not the color of your ink or part of your paper, when you add it to it, it takes on kind of a different color. So just remember, you can mix different things, and nothing says it has to be a certain way. Especially like if I don't layer it on that. And then I'm going to add one more white one. So I'll put that there. You can always add one to the center of that. I don't know. Let's see if it would look all right. There we go. So I added some white flat sequins, and they're the Starburst ones, and then I added some of the gold ones. I don't know what the colors are in this. Let's see. Does it tell? That's the thing about it. I haven't been seeing where they've been adding what the colors are. And so if I think it'll go with it, then I try it. And if I don't like it, then I just remove it and then move on to a different embellishment. So that is the card for today. So the mystery card has been solved. And I hope that you like this card design. I could see doing it multiple different ways, using all kinds of different DSPs and different things. And so I'm just cleaning up here just a little bit because I'm going to bring in some of my other samples and kind of show you where I made my mistake and kind of share that, because I think sometimes we all need to know that mistakes happen. So here is the one I did before, and I stamped off twice, and this is 3rd generation, and then this is, you know, just a regular stamping, the outline. So you can either have it darker or lighter. I was trying to mimic the flowers in the DSP. That's the reason I pulled this set out of my retired container so that I could use it. And then this one here, I made it a little bit plainer. That I did not stamp the back. I did not put any of the embellishments on there. And so if you want simple, you just go with the simple. If you want to step it up a bit, you do a little bit more stamping and add some of your little embellishments. So there's those. I'll set those there. And then I was playing around with some paper that it is so busy for me that I have a really hard time using it. I love the paper and it's beautiful, but I've been having a lot of trouble using that paper. So like I said, I tried to use some of my mystery stamping so that I can try new things and kind of step outside my comfort zone. So I have these 2 cards. I use the same paper, just used them in different orders, different sides, and different things. But notice here, I did not cut that to 2 inches. I do not know what I was thinking when I did it. I cut it to 2.5. I think what it was is this piece was 2.5, right? So let's see. I got my ruler here. So yeah, so this piece was 2.5. And I think what I did was I cut a strip of the 2.5. So this is the front. Now the strawberries is the front, the green is the back. So I think what I did was go ahead and cut a 2-inch strip or 2.5-inch strip so I could have my square and I wouldn't have to cut another strip off my 12 by 12 paper. Then I was going to cut a 1/2 inch off these, and then I could have put them on the inside. But I think I forgot to cut the 1/2 inch off. And once I had this one, and then I started the next one, I'm like, oh, so yeah, that's how I need to do that. So I did 2 of them, which is crazy. I did 2 of them with the wrong dimensions. So if you do that, it's no big deal. You just make it work. So that's this one. And this is on Cajun Craze. And this is that springtime or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. And when I say this is busy paper, I mean it's busy paper. The strawberry is not too bad. And this one's not bad. This one's also not bad, but some of the others, like with the rabbits and different things all over, if you put them all together, that is a lot of print because they're small prints all over the whole paper. So that's when I struggle. If it's a little bit bigger flower, I can make that work. Let's see what it's called. Storybook moments. Okay, not springtime, but storybook moment. And so that's what I use for these. Now this one here, because I used the strawberry and then I could see it in this other page, I used the cherry cobbler for it. This one here, I was pulling from what I could see in the background. I didn't want to use the green. I didn't want to use this color, so I don't know, but that might be Wild Wee. And then for the stamp sets, I used that You Are Remarkable, I believe. And for the Leaves Behind, oh, good golly. I don't know what I used for that. No, that's not it. I guess. Oh, it's the You Are Remarkable also. So I used the words and an image from that stamp set. So that's always nice whenever things are going to fall. Whenever I use from one stamp set. So these are the ones that I did this one. And then whenever actually I did these first. And then I did this one to show, like to demonstrate today. And that's when I'm like, oh my goodness, I messed those up, but nothing's messed up. It worked. I like it. And so if you make a wrong measurement, don't worry about it. And if you catch it beforehand, you can always cut it down. But if you put it together, don't worry about it. If you put it in the wrong place, don't worry about it. It's your project. You do with it what you want to do with it. And these are just suggestions, just a jumping off point to open up your creativity and kind of inspire you to go maybe in a certain direction. So I want to thank you for joining me, and thank you, Jane, for telling me how pretty they are. And I want to thank you for joining me for this mystery stamping. And I have another one. Let's see, this is May 1st. I have another one on the 15th. I have all the Facebook Lives for mystery stamping scheduled through the end of July. And I will be getting some of the clues sent up on the website. You can always request to be a part of the mystery stamping group on my business page. That's always, you can find it. I think I have it where it's where you know, anybody can find it on Facebook. You just have to join the group to see what's on that page. So anyway, and below the video on YouTube, I have a link to sign up for a newsletter, and that way I can send out all the information and keep you up to date on things that are going on and specials and classes that I have coming up. And also, you might follow my business page here on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, and hopefully we can stamp together again. So until next time, happy stamping.